Okay, so today's one is a little look at why and how we can make science a little more sexy and why it actually matters to you guys. And I'm going to try and use the example of ducks, sexy dogs, and as many weird things as I can to make this a little more interesting than it may otherwise be. Because science is just a way of us standardizing and logically applying some ideas when we come up with an idea. Okay, so if I want to know something, and you want to know something, how do we know whose idea is best if we have two competing theories to explain what you think? Right? This is all science is. So I'm going to use the example of, let's say that you have a hypothesis, an idea, that the ducks at your local pond are really into this sexy brioche bread, right? But I'm of the contention that no, they're into Hovis. Those motherfucking ducks like some Hovis. Well, how would we go about studying that? Because we can answer that question. I want to know what these ducks are into. Well, we'd first off need to have some standardized kind of measurements of bread. So we need the brioche bread and we need some motherfucking Hovis, right? And we're going to take those. Then we need to figure out, all right, they probably need to be standardized size bits of bread. Because if I throw them out and the Hovis ones are bigger than the brioche ones, well, maybe just, maybe ducks just happen to like really big chunks of bread. So there's a variable that we need to control for, right? And that's a scientific thing. We are controlling for as many variables as we can that start to cloud our conversation as to whether or not those ducks really like brioche or Hovis breads, right? And then, so we've got that, but how am I going to deliver the bread? Because there's a chance maybe that those ducks are just fucking lazy, right? So if I happen to throw some of the bread nearer some of the ducks, I'm only going to eat the shit that's near me because I'm lazy, I'm a duck, right? Yeah, I'm lazy, I'm not even a duck, and I'll still just go to the bread nearest me most of the time, right? So that's going to affect things. So how would I put that in? And what if the ducks are in clumps? What if most of them are over there and there's like one lonely duck, like Jeff over here, who's really just being left out, and Jeff's just going to nibble the brioche bread because, well, it's nearby and he's got no mates, right? Well, that starts to change things a little bit. So does that apply to everyone? And even if these ducks really did like Hovis or the brioche bread, does that apply to all ducks, right? Some people are weird, right? If I'm going to extrapolate from the data I'm getting from the ducks or with people, well, here's a weird one. Some people fuck horses. Just going to leave you with that bit right there. Some people fuck horses. That's a fact, right? Go check it out online. You'll maybe, be a bit worried about your search history, but you can see that shit happen. I don't want to be tarnished with the same brush as the dude over there who's, getting excited by the stables. And every time the Grand National goes past, just goes, skadoosh, right? I don't want to see that guy. I am not the same guy as the horse fucker, okay? So if I'm going to say all ducks from this thing really like this bread, well, maybe it's just that I just did it in Richmond Park and everyone's really, I only give them these artisanal breads that we had left over from the butler. It was a really bad impression, but you get the idea, right? Are these ducks, are these people representative of everybody else? I've got to be wary when I extrapolate from a population to another population, okay? Or what if there's some other external variables going on with these ducks when I try and feed them the bread? What if there's a big scary motherfucking dog over the other thing that keeps jumping at them and going, oh shit, I'm going to go over here a little bit, and it's going to throw things out? What if there's a big breeze and it starts to blow the bread somewhere further away? Okay? This is all science should be, right? This is a fucking stupid example, right? Which is kind of why I wanted to do it. Is because science isn't weird. It's not different. It's not this odd, done by lab coats and we shall obey all of the rules and fuck these guys. No, it's just a way of logically applying as many controls as we can, systematically, so that we can control, hopefully, when done well, as many of the variables as we can, so that we can really start to answer the question that you have. And that's why science matters. It's why it matters more than just what you think on something. Because what you think, what I think, can be clouded by so many things. It's clouded by the dog at the park. It's clouded by how close I am to the bread. It's clouded by all the biases I bring to the table. Okay, and I can't separate myself out from that. It's clouded by the fact I'm clearly sweaty because I just had a walk, and that might affect which bread I want to go for in this particular one. I'm probably going to go for the brioche bread right now because I want some sweet things because I'm warm and I'm a little hungry. That all affects stuff, doesn't it? And all we're trying to do, and why I'll be the first person here going, if there is evidence, if we have scientific rigor on a subject, I will happily defer to it over what I just think. This means I will change my mind if good evidence, if good data comes out. That doesn't mean we accept all the data, right? It doesn't mean we accept evidence blindly because of the reasons we just gave. There are variables, and we need to go and look at them and go, are these ducks representative of me? Or are they a little sexually deviant ducky? I don't know what this was. This is my paddling, I think. Right? So that's all we're trying to do. You can't just dismiss it because you disagree with it, because that's just as bad as accepting it without having a look at it either. But it's just to go in and start to apply some systematic ones. Does this apply to my population? Is this done on my age range demographic? Is this asking a question that is genuinely relevant to me? Oftentimes we see really misreported crap in science that frankly had nothing to do with the question the scientist originally asked. It's just being taken out of context by mainly media stuff so that they can sell you pizza diets. And that's the problem. The problem isn't what the science says. It's rarely as contradictory as you would think if we look at all of it together. And that's what we're trying to do, so that we don't get led astray by people who have a vested interest in selling us brioche bread. But you equally can't just dismiss the brioche bread just because someone has an interest in it. That's not good enough either. That's not intellectually rigorous, right? Is a good word. And so this is all we're trying to strive for. Let's be consistent with our critique of these things. Let's understand what science really is and how it can really help us. And the fact that you're even watching this on your Mac, on your phone, on the whatever the fuck you're watching it on, is frankly ridiculous, because I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I have no idea how the fuck this works. Do you? No. I hope, right? There might be 3 of you. There's probably 3 of you guys who know how it works, and if we hit the zombie apocalypse, we're all clearly fucked, because I don't even know if I can make fire, to be honest. Could teach you all to do a really good push-up, but in the zombie apocalypse, yeah, I'm fucked. I'm getting eaten. I mean, I might outrun some people, so there's that. But eventually, I'm not repairing society back to where it is now. But you know what would? Science and the scientific method. That's the only way we got to this is by people going, I wonder if this. And then they went and did a test and saw what happened. And eventually we start to understand nature as it is, without bias, without duck interference. That's all we're trying to do. That's why science is cool. That's why you should like it.